You join us this time in the MG3 and, well, initial impressions. This is the car that's due to effectively take the crown from Fiesta, if you listen to what MG is saying anyway. It's quite a nice thing to sit in, isn't it?
Yeah, with the demise of Fiesta, there's certainly a large, small car-sized hole in the market, which all the other manufacturers are going to be clamouring to try and fill. I quite like this. We haven't done too much in it yet, but it's quite a pleasant thing. Materials look nice. Reasonably softish touch plastic up there. All the bits that you touch are maybe a little on the hard side, but it's probably about the quality you would expect. But the steering wheel is nice. Gear selector's a little bit cheap, but okay.
I think when we compare this thing to a Fiesta, because let's face it, that's what we're here to do. This is a 1.5 hybrid, so it has an engine as well as having the electric motor, which is able to drive the wheels. My initial impressions were pretty good actually. The seats are comfy and they're nice and soft. They seem to be relatively well supportive. Notice that the steering wheel doesn't seem to adjust for reach as well as rake, which I thought was a bit weird, to be honest. We're just about to head out onto the real roads here, so we're just heading out of Millbrook now. It's bonkinging at us for something. Oh, it thinks we're doing faster than whatever the limit is. So this car has traffic sign recognition, which you might just be able to see out there. It's got a little screen above the top, which on this is a bit dark, truth be told, from where I'm sitting. It might be better for you.
That's perfect from where I'm sat. It's very good.
So this gives you your speed and all the other vital information. You've also got a touch screen down here. There's a shortcut button to get you home and one for the climate control, but it is touch screen, which of course is the way that things are these days. Like many people, I tend to prefer real buttons, but there you go, it is what it is.
It does appear to be constantly telling us when the next service is due, which could get a little bit irritating.
14,000 miles.
You've got heated seats and a heated steering wheel, which is nice. Lots of space for storage and things, cup holders, and the circular drive dial selector there. I think the trim looks quite nice. So you've got soft touch bits.
Co-driver.
Here we go. Turn left at the exit of Millbrook Proving Ground. Continue over level crossing in 1 mile.
Through water splash.
Through water splash. So here we go. There are some nice little touches in here, like the frameless mirror. I'm just having a look at the doors as well. So the textures all look pretty good. Top of the dash is quite hard, but you wouldn't know it to look at it, to touch it. Yeah, well, the door cards are plasticky. There's some soft touch stuff down here, but it looks pretty good. And I guess you've got to consider that this is a small car, and if you compare it to something like a Fiesta, then yeah, it's probably comparable.
I've spotted something. I'm not sure if it's an indication of performance or whether it's just optimism, but we have a menu called Overspeed Threshold. So presumably this bongs at you when you're going over a certain speed, so 20, 30, etc. It goes all the way up to 150 miles an hour. Does that mean the top speed of this car is over 150 miles an hour?
Infotainment then, and it's got a decent rear view camera, resolution's okay, and a 360-degree camera in here. You've got a home button.
Ooh.
Oh,
Stop it.
what have I done? I pressed a button. Oh, look at that. That's clever, isn't it?
Could you drive along like that?
Swipe on the screen. Look at this.
I want that.
That's
But I'm waving, I can't see myself.
That's excellent.
But that is, so if we now drive forwards. Oh, very clever. Oh, we like that.
That's cool. There you go. Otherwise, the touchscreen's okay, I reckon. You can skip through bits. It seems to be relatively responsive. It's nice that there's a proper home button, so you can go back. Having the climate control and such, though, on the screen is always irritating, of course, but nevertheless. Look at that. There's your overspeed audible warning.
Ah, a bit of customization.
Yes,
Left hand function for left start button.
Oh.
Ah, that gives us the 1, 2, 3. there we go. Function for right start button.
What is the 1, 2, 3?
AC mode. The amount of regeneration.
Ah.
So we can have, what's SRC? Something recycling? Southern Recycling
Supplementary restraint system? No.
Oh, source. Audio source. So 360 camera if you want to be able to turn that on. Or control the vehicle. Well, let's have some vehicle control. Oh wait, there's more. What do you think?
Do you know what? From where I'm sitting, I reckon this is pretty good. So the driver's display that's directly in front of me gives you pretty much everything you need. It's nice and clear. Doesn't really show from where you're sitting on the passenger side, but it does give you all the information you want, and it is right in front of you. The steering, it's not quite up to the same level of feel and feedback as the Ford, and to be honest, I'd rather it moved a bit closer to me than it currently is. Because I like to sit a bit further back, my legs out in front of me, but the seat's comfortable and it's supportive. Visibility is pretty good.
You can get reasonably comfy being, well, I'm 6 foot and you're, what, just under 5'10", so
exactly that.
we both managed to get roughly comfortable.
Yeah, in a similar sort of position, I think, as well. It's a nice car. As I say, I can see all the way around me fine. I can feel very confident in threading it through any sort of gap. It's just a good small car. What really impresses actually is the performance, which is, well, excellent. It has this hybrid motor which is attached to the engine, and it gives you just enough. It's not probably the smoothest of handover. You do feel it when it thunders into life, but considering the size of the car and the price point, and bearing in mind this thing's just over £20,000 as we drive it, it really is very good, all things considered. Engine, well, there's a little bit of noise, and wind noise is acceptable rather than excellent, but otherwise, yeah, I quite like this. I think it's a good small car, and considering that the market seems to be devoid of lots of good small cars as it was, this has earned its place, I would say, already. What's the alternative then? Not a Fiesta. We've got the Suzuki Swift, of course. We've got
The Alpine, there's a good small car.
That is a good small car.
We have averaged 40.9 to the gallon, with really no regard for fuel economy whatsoever, so it seems very good.
How do you dial up the regen?
Left star, so at the moment you are on 3s, you have all the regen.
Okay. So I can't say that that's...
One regen back off.
I can't notice any of the regen at all, to be honest.
There we go.
Okay, there we go, that's more like it. It's amazing what a difference it makes having that extra hyper assistance to the torque, isn't it?
So, summing up, what would we say? I think overall, average interior quality, I think it's about the same, if not slightly better than a Fiesta, isn't it? There's certain bits that are nicer, certain bits that are slightly cheaper. You notice the brake pedal rubber down there was a bit slightly cheaper looking. Top of the dash maybe a little bit, but that bit's nicer. That bit's maybe a bit worse. That bit's a bit worse, but that bit's a bit nicer. So I'd say, for given the Fiesta size hole that Ford have left in the market, I think on average this is probably slightly above a Fiesta, I would say. So I think it fits in quite well. I think they've done quite a good job with this, and I know it's all relative, but it's not a bad price, is it?
I think it's entirely recommendable at the money that it is. We were just discussing a moment ago, if your dad came to you and said, look, I need an automatic vehicle, I don't want to spend much more than 20 grand, can you recommend a car to me? The answer is all of us would say yes. This is a car that's entirely recommendable. Okay, the steering could do with a bit more feel, but the handling is still pretty good. Everything is comfortable, everything is relatively easy to use. There's a big touchscreen that's relatively responsive. Yes, it would have been nicer to have proper climate control, but in terms of actually buttons rather than being able to adjust it on the screen. But you know what? It's fine. It's what you'd expect. The mirrors seem pretty big. You've got really good visibility behind you as you sit from the driver's seat and look out. Yeah, it's a good small car, which is what you want. Would you take it out for a thrash on a Sunday? I'm going to say probably not. And yes, when you're pressing on, the engine does sound a bit harsh. But who's going to really do that? Is this the right car for you if you want to do that? Probably not. The performance is good, more than probably most people will actually need.
And we are now averaging 50 mpg.
Which is
very good.
Yeah, absolutely excellent. So I would say this is another well done to MG, really. It does make you wonder what some of the other manufacturers are thinking when it comes to producing small cars. Appreciate that they're expensive to make, but clearly there's a market for them. And once customers are in a small MG, when they then need a bigger MG, are they going to do that? Well, they are probably just going to go for an MG4 or something else, aren't they? This is the front of the new MG3, and I think it looks quite sharp, to be honest with you. I like the way the headlamps look.
Carbon fibre.
There is some faux carbon fibre. I would say that probably needs a slightly bigger wheel. It looks a bit under-wheeled to me.
Carbon fibre.
But there is some fake carbon fibre. Otherwise, looking at the side, yeah, it's quite a handsome car, perhaps a bit tall at the back. Some nice design in terms of the shape and the lines. A little bit of a shot of the inside for you. It's a smart car, isn't it? Seats are as comfortable as they look. Oh, what a thunk. Into the back. Yeah, for a small car, something Fiesta sort of sized. There's rear air vents, which is a nice touch. Thank you, the rear passengers. And the boot, well, it took me a moment to find the boot release, which is actually tucked up under here somewhere. There we go. And it's got an all right sized boot. We've chucked all of our stuff into the back. LED lights. Yeah. And there we go.